We made it, friends. It is finale night. Well, it's not finale night, but it's our finale night of this season of The Traitors. We made it to the end. We have our winners. We got it. I'm sure there's plenty to talk about. Kyle seemed fired up in the group chat, so let's not waste any more time and get right on in. I am Gina Morgino. I am joined by my two faithful friends, Kyle Petty and John Dumphy. I'm also not in my normal seat. I realize that's why I'm a little jarred right now.
I just realized that too, actually.
Okay, this is where I belong. But we are, of course, Strat Chat, and we are here to talk about the finale of The Traitors and what a finale it was. Kyle, do you want to start us off?
No, we can go in order. Let's go in order.
Well, I mean, I'm sure we can all kind of assume where Kyle stands because of his Team MJ affiliation on his little name tag. But before we get there, we obviously opened up on Kate being the sole traitor, and she was immediately pissed about it because she said, Phaedra brought me in here. She had no plan, and then she left. And it was just me, and I gotta figure this shit out all by myself.
Didn't see like the turret of zero plans or
yeah,
something like that.
Like, what the hell am I doing here?
It is true.
And we had said in our last episode that the smartest thing for Kate to do would have been to murder Trishelle, which obviously we can stand to say that would have been the smart choice. But she was torn between Trishelle and Sheree. I was floored that Sheree was one of her choices because, with love and respect, I feel like Sheree has gotten to where she is in the game purely by accident. She has no idea what's going on. She's never been on the right side of a vote. I was like, why do you think that she is the person that you need to cut in this moment? Like, it is the last murder. Get out somebody threatening to you.
Right. And I'd also challenge it that, like, that's exactly why she got to the end. There's no danger in keeping Sheree this long. Right. Yeah. It's like she don't know nothing. She's just there for a good time.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I understand where Kate's head might have been at with like the whole Bravo alliance. If I murder Sheree, they won't be thinking it's me because we're in that Bravo alliance. So I understand the thinking there, but I do agree that I think it was the wrong move that she should have.
I don't know. Like, I feel like there were moments like throughout this finale where people kept being like, Trishelle had a moment where she was like, well, I have to vote with the majority. And it's like, why? This is the last one. If you're ever going to like take that risk, it's right now. Otherwise you can't do it later. What are you trying to protect yourself from? There's no more. This is it.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But of course we get to breakfast and so sorry, Sheree. Although we get Sheree's little confessional after she's been murdered, and all of a sudden she's like, I know that Kate's a traitor. Here's all the reasons why. And it's like, well, where the hell was this?
Exactly. Why didn't you say this any other time?
Like, why do you all of a sudden have this moment of clarity of, I know exactly what's happening here?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre. It's so bizarre.
Yeah, we got more game from her posthumously.
Yeah.
While she was alive.
While she was alive.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
so
I don't
ridiculous.
disagree.
I feel like there's nothing really exciting that happened at breakfast except CT was clocking Kate for being weird with Phaedra the night before, but I feel like everyone kind of clocked that.
Right.
But,
yeah, because it was too much. Because Sandra said it first, and Sandra said at the end of the last episode, really. She's like, "Tell me more about why you said
why
that."
She's suspicious.
And why is she selfish? Like, what does that mean? Why did you say that? Yeah. So no, like that was really being clocked by everyone. So
yeah, that round table and Kate. My name on here right now is John Dumphy Chastain, so I love Kate, but she really made some bad moves at the end of this game. But first, that round table with how personal she made it feel, like going after Phaedra, and then obviously that fire of
Kate's endgame was not it.
I can't wait to get into all of it, but
so yeah, after breakfast we see Kate pushing more for Sandra as like the main suspect. Everyone kind of had already thought about it, so there wasn't anything super crazy
People are on
there.
board, and it makes good sense. Like it's
Yeah.
Sandra. Like
Yeah.
that made sense to me. Sure.
Though again, like, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Miss Sandra, but she also in this particular game kind of felt like she got to the end by accident a little bit too. It's like I feel like she just did not know what was going on for most of this game.
Who's Sandra?
I don't know, like something about like the way that she was voting. I was like, I don't know if this is your game.
I don't know. I definitely, I think I have a different take on that. I think that she was pretty in tune to things, but I think she also understands the pacing of a game. And she's like, this is when I need to do this. This is when I need to do that, because I think she's strategic enough to know that. Like, you don't.
It felt better if we got more confessionals from her.
Yes.
You
That I
know?
agree with.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that I do agree with. I trust her because I knew her beforehand. But like I think it's fair that for those that did not, kind of makes some sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Because obviously, they were different. Dan was a traitor and Sandra was a faithful. But I felt like Sandra played more the type of game that Dan should have, because I feel like Sandra went in knowing like I'm a well-known person. I've played these games, so I have to be a little bit under the radar. But like Sandra was still contributing and trying to find traitors, whereas Dan just wasn't doing anything. Like I feel like if he had played a little bit more like Sandra, he would have been able to, blend in a little more and last longer. But
I support that.
Here for it.
I can't decide if I like this mission or not, if I'm being so real with you.
It stunk.
Also, they would have been so screwed without CT. Because like I hear in my head is like that moment where like they have the lockbox, they don't know what the code is, and they're just yelling, try this number.
Try 2023. It's like, yeah, right. The like, year you filmed it. Like, come on.
CT is like the odds of you just guessing a 4-digit combination.
And he was like,
not it. Like, what are we doing?
Yes.
I was like, what is
very
happening?
Very, very silly.
And I'm convinced that like CT was phenomenal in this. Like he was so good. Like that challenge side of him really coming out. I love it. But like I'm sitting there watching, like so happy for them that they got the full $50,000 or whatever. But I'm sitting there also like without CT, they don't even get the 30,000. Like there is no way that they even make it to the boat on time. And raise that mess. Like they would have gotten $0 in the final challenge. But yeah, I agree. Yeah, I do agree that I didn't like this final mission anywhere near as much. I thought the last season they had a much better final mission.
This wasn't fun to watch.
Because even Kate, like when we started getting into it, she was like, I know that the final mission is going to be freaking crazy. I hate missions. I don't want to do this. And I know it's going to be super insane. And then we start doing the mission and I'm like, none of this is any crazy. I feel like we've seen crazier missions throughout this season.
Right.
Right.
It was almost like they like designed the mission and then they were like, this kind of sucks. Like we got to bring him in on a helicopter or something to make it a little more exciting.
Yeah.
Right. But honestly, to compare and contrast, I also kind of felt that way about the finale for the mole. Like they tried to make like it was so exciting. They had that drone. Oh, just hide from the drone. I'm like, y'all don't know. Yeah, you don't know how to do a fun final. Like, but it's also not supposed to be about the physicality, I suppose. But then let's not spend as much time on it. Let's zip through it because who cares? That's not really why we came.
But it doesn't need to be particularly physical. Make it just like more escape roomy, like just make it like I don't know, like there's ways you can make it more engaging without making it a physical competition.
Yeah,
but
well, what are you gonna do? It's still a fun season.
They still got all the money. Thank you, CT. And that was the mission. Bye. Don't miss you. Sorry. Thank you, Daddy CT. This whole like post mission situation was so uncomfy though, because we had this whole like Kate and CT bickering with each other in the car, and then we get back and it's like Sandra's voting with this one and then voting with that one, and who's actually suspicious and who's not suspicious, and like it was just this whole like scramble of like, is it Kate or is it like I don't know, everything about it just felt like chaotic.
Yeah, is it Kate, is it Sandra, like what are we looking at here, what are we doing? Yeah, it was chaos, but I enjoy that. Makes for a
Right.
good, it makes for a good round table, you know.
Yeah, I mean, and I will say for, I was already criticizing Kate's game, how it ended, but I will say in this moment, like it seemed pretty clear cut that she was going to get voted out by CT,
Yeah.
Trishelle, and Sandra going into the round table. And she did get to plant a little bit of a seed of doubt, and it lasted her, it made her survive that one more round table to get to the fire. So that was a good move at least. But
I was just surprised, and like again, I wish that we got more Sandra confessionals because I wish we knew what she was actually thinking in this moment. Because how it looked was like, okay, great, I'm on board to banish Kate, and Kate had like one little conversation with her, and then she was like, well, all we need is 3. We need the number, so we're just going to get rid of CT now, and then it's us like that get to the end. If we want to banish somebody else at that point, like we have the option to, and it's like you folded so quickly,
So fast.
and I should at least know what you're actually thinking. Like, I feel like I should know if you're just trying to yes her to death or if you actually are like, you know what? Yeah, screw it. Let's just get rid of CT. Like, it just, and like,
I'm
it
the
all,
audience.
I'm like, I have all the information. What the hell
Right.
do you mean?
right.
No, that's fair.
Especially
Yeah.
because, like, it wasn't even like raising more like anticipation because CT was not an option at this round table. So it's not like, Sandra was going to be the deciding vote. Is it Kate or is it CT? Like, that was not how this went down. So just give me the information. I earned it.
Yeah.
Right. No, that's fair. That's fair.
No, I would have loved to seen more of Sandra's thinking because I feel like that could even have been her saying yes to Kate, knowing that Kate's the last traitor or something, being like, yeah, I'll help you knock out another faithful, so it's easier for me to take all the money at the end or something. Like, but we don't know if that's what she was thinking or if she literally just
Right.
flipped the
I
switch
wanted
like that
so
for no
much
reason.
more insight on Sandra this whole season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'm trying to think of anything else of importance before this roundtable because I feel like everyone came in hot at the roundtable.
I
don't think there's anything else really.
I don't have anything really to say until the Ring of Truth.
That's so fair. I mean, listen, I know that you're like pissy about Trishelle, but Trishelle pissed me off here too because she like right from the jump, like CT is like, all right, I guess I'll kind of take the reins here. Kate, this is why I think that, you're kind of suspicious. She was like, yeah, explain that, Kate. Explain that. And it's like, you literally haven't said anything. Like, why are you all of a sudden now the big dog? And she's jumping in and then she's getting pissy with CT because he's thinking about maybe voting for somebody else besides Kate. And she's like, well, I can't believe that he would do this. We had a plan. This is so disrespectful to me. And is like personally offended that he wanted to like maybe make a move to benefit himself that will also, but like, I don't know. She was really just irking me this whole time.
That irks me too, but at least it was consistent with what she had been saying. Like she wasn't really like about the Sandra argument because she was always on the Kate thing. And this is almost where my defense of Trishelle will end. I have one other positive thing to say about her later on, but then I will be ripping her up. But like, I will say at least this behavior from me felt consistent. Because she was never really about the Sandra argument. And I could also understand if you thought that you were playing this game with this person, we came in here and we had a plan and you did not tell me that you were deviating from it. I think I would also be like, what the hell are you doing? Like, when did this switch? I can say that makes a little bit of sense to me.
I still don't know why she felt like
validating such a horrible person.
I just still don't really understand why she felt she needed to vote with the majority in this moment. It's like there's no more vote after this,
right?
Unless
and
you
there's
choose
no more murders
to.
or anything. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't get that either. It's not like this is a secret. Like it's not like a secret vote, or just vote who you want to vote for.
Who cares?
Right.
But I was a little surprised. You see, this is what's funny to me too, because it felt like we started the season and Trishelle and CT were definitely like talking about working together. Seemed cool, and then it kind of got a little weaker. Like they weren't really working together, didn't trust each other as much, and then out of nowhere, it was like neither one of them has ever trusted anyone more than that the other person.
I'm telling you, I'm like we're like married or something. Like I don't like there's just like this wild bond between them that doesn't feel like we've played these games together.
Right. But like
especially once we get to the end.
What gets me confused though is that like if they were working so closely at the end, like why wouldn't CT have told her that? Like it's not like Kate came to CT and like gave some information that like you know, Trishelle, oh, like we want to get Trishelle out or whatever, and like he didn't want to spoil a plan or something. Like,
Yeah.
like why wouldn't he go to Trishelle and be like, listen, Kate just told me that Sandra said she's gonna vote for me, like vote me out. Like, should we change up the plan? Like, I am surprised he didn't do that.
Kyle, do you have something to add, or are you waiting?
Got something.
Well, no, I'm listening to that, because I hadn't really considered that. I guess because CT does also know Trishelle, so like, you know, not to defend my husband or anything, but like, you know, maybe we didn't bring that to Trishelle because we know she's so spearheaded on one thing. He may not have thought that she would actually change course even with that information, because if anybody's selfish in a game, it's Trishelle.
It also just to me felt like he started changing up during the discourse at the roundtable. Like it didn't, because he came in calling out Kate, and then as more people started talking, he was like, you know what, I am kind of suspicious of Sandra too.
Yeah, I feel like he was always teetering on like whether or not, because I think that in his head both were.
Yeah.
And he's just like, you know, I could really go either way. So if we're steering more towards this, fine. I'm fine with
I'm
that.
on board. Yeah.
If you want to go that way, fine. I'm fine there, because I don't really trust either of them. So like whatever we do tonight is really, as long as it's not Trishelle, I think that he was going to be fine with it. So maybe he also just went with the votes went, just to make sure that like at least one of the people he had his eyes on went. Especially now knowing from the whole Ring of Truth thing that like he really didn't trust anyone but Trishelle. So like I'm sure he, in his head, well, whatever. However this goes is fine.
Yeah.
As long as it's not her. Yeah.
It's true. Yeah. Very fair.
I did also get a little giggle at this roundtable when like everyone's like going in on Sandra, and then right before it's time to vote, Sandra was like, no, listen, I am telling you, Kate is a traitor. Her outfit is screaming traitor. And Kate's like, oh, thank you. I was like, how is that your argument? It's like, look at how she's dressed.
Right.
Like, Sandra, what are you talking about? But
Maya.
Hello, hi, Maya. Yeah, welcome to the chat that we like to call Strat. I will agree that there was some acting and planning going on here, but I actually don't think that it was on CT. I think it was on Trishelle. And if you hang out until the end of the chat, we will definitely be getting into.
I'm so excited. I like don't even want to keep like wasting time talking about anything other than the Ring of Truth anymore. I'm like, I just
because like a lot of that stuff doesn't matter. You know, like at least not anymore. Now that we're at the finale, right? We saw it. We saw the reunion and everything. So you know what? Here it is. Here's my issue with Miss Trishelle. Okay. I think that Trishelle is extremely smart and extremely intelligent. Okay, so like let's just also establish that Kate's gone, right? All right, whatever. We got rid of Kate. Everyone knew. MJ knew. CT knew.
Yeah.
Trishelle knew. Like, not so exciting. Not so exciting. It's what happened after this. I feel that Trishelle has a history of going after queer and POC people. That is why I do not like this woman. Okay. And she knew, just like with the whole peppermint thing, she knew she had absolutely no intention of letting MJ have any share of this money. And that is why she voted to banish again. Now, I will acknowledge that CT did vote to banish again, but he was very clear and very direct from the very beginning. CT said, I don't trust anybody here other than Trishelle. I know this woman. I'm going to ride with her. Now, here's where it gets layered. The entire reason why Trishelle wrote down CT's name is because she already knows how she is perceived in this reality TV world, and she did not want to add any fuel to that fire. So she wants to now say, oh, I'm going to vote for CT because like that'll take some of the heat off of me when I do this revote and we go to MJ, because she's smart and intelligent enough to know that CT was never going to vote Trishelle. MJ wasn't going to do CT. She knew she was going to be faced with this deadlock, and she knew that this CT vote that was complete crap from the beginning was the whole guise that she needed to try to protect what she thinks her image is. And that is why she's like, oh, I can't vote for CT again. I'm sorry, because if we are going to believe that Trishelle is as smart, as intelligent as she is, which I will acknowledge, she also knows that CT was never going to write her name. So she knew that she can kind of manipulate this entire thing to make sure that MJ didn't get there. And it's because she's a POC. And that is the problem that I have with Trishelle. She's full of crap. And I exonerate CT from this because, again, he always stuck to the fact that like, I just don't trust anyone. I don't think it mattered who was there. CT was going to make sure they go. And the reason why I think that Janelle can get a little bit of this is because she was on Twitter retweeting some of Trichelle's nonsense and kind of like backing some of this up. And like, you know what? There's always been a little bit of cloud with me with Janelle. As much as I've been very public about my love for her, I've always wondered exactly what is really going on in her mind. And I could look at her social media and I see other POCs. I'm like, oh, well, Kyle, like maybe you're overthinking this whole thing. You don't really know this woman, right? She's just somebody that's on your TV. But I've always felt a little unsettled about Janelle. And the fact that you're retweeting these things, I'm not going to say that I'm not withdrawing all of my support and love for her, but it's a blemish. It's a blemish, and I'm keeping my eye on you now, Janelle. I'm keeping my eye on you. So you're not going to get all this smoke because it's really is for Trishelle, and I hope she dies a smoke inhalation from the smoke that I'm presenting to her on tonight. The next person that should be murdered is Miss Trishelle, and that's that.
Oh my God.
I've been holding this in for mad long, okay?
Wow.
I don't really wish harm in a woman, okay? I don't know her. But I'm drawing a comparison to the metaphor that I was drawing as far as like bringing smoke to the conversation. Right. She can choke on it as far as I'm concerned. Damn. Because she is so full of crap.
And that is not like, I don't know that I've heard people like speculate about like the CT vote or anything like that, but what you said, like, that's not a new concept. I've never heard anybody say about her. Like,
I don't know.
You're not saying anything like that isn't going to rally support behind you.
Sorry. Trishelle, I don't ever want to see this woman on my TV again. I have not liked her since I saw her on The Real World and The Challenge, and I continue to dislike this woman. That's it.
I agree. If there were going to be two, if there were going to be two people from The Challenge that made it to the end, would have much preferred CT and Bananas.
Yeah, you can say what you want about Bananas, but man ain't racist.
So, wow. Oh, I agree.
I have like nothing to add.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. Trishelle, I've never really liked, and she's always made me feel uncomfortable. So, yeah.
Sorry.
Truly, like that CT vote happened, and I was like, "What the hell is going on here? Like, where did that come from?" There's been nothing the entire season to like, yeah, you've had your moments where you're like, he's not talking to me, but like, there's been nothing that like ever led me to believe that you would ever vote against him.
That's also because Trishelle is smart and she's intelligent and she knows that she can just kind of like start up some drama with somebody who gets a lot more shine on reality TV shows than she does now. I put that whole, CT, you're not trusting me, you're not loving me, blah, blah, blah. I put that on the same thing as a stuff from the Challenge 39. You're just trying to create little storylines and things so people bring you back. You can attach yourself to him because of this. I do have to address Amaya's comment here. You think that this theory is a little bit far-fetched, but the reason why people do agree is because it's actually not. If she didn't want to share the money, she could have just said that. You're a gamer. You come from this world. You're not one of those housewives that don't really know, oh, is it acceptable for me to say these things and blah, blah, blah. No, she knows it's acceptable to say it. Because she stood her ground on so many other decisions that she made that was not so great. Even when she was challenged during the reunion, when people were saying, oh, you expected CT to trust you so much, but you didn't let him into the Peter Palace. She's like, well, I didn't have anything to do with that. I say, yeah, but you could still have shared that information with him if you really felt like you were aligned with him. You only accept these alliances when it serves you. And it's like, so you're not actually playing this game with this person, but you expect to use whatever emotional agency you have in a relationship to use that against them to now get a little bit more out of them. Like she is so, and it's like, if you just own that and you said, this is how I play this game, I could actually have some respect for you, but you don't, because you try to be so dastardly and act like that's not a thing. That's exactly what she does. And she's gross.
Right. And to add to this also, because now you got me thinking about everything more also. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, let's say you're 100% correct. Trishelle knew she wanted to vote MJ out, but first felt like she had to vote CT out, or write CT's name to kind of soften the blow. Trishelle, it just shows how much, like how selfish she was throughout the game. When you consider that, like her doing that, I'm sure she didn't tell CT like, oh, I'm going to throw everybody off by writing your name first, but don't worry, I'm really going to get MJ. So the fact that
she wouldn't say that because the CT is decent. He'd been like, what are you talking about? Like what?
And like y'all know CT better than I do, but like the hurt on his face when he saw his name on her thing, like he did not know about that ahead of time.
No, he most certainly did not.
He looked devastated.
But for me, like what gets me too is that like she played on his emotions so many times throughout the season, making him feel guilty for not lighting her torch. all this stuff, right? About like how, she thought they were going to work together and he's not, like working with her, blah, 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 whatever. All the complaints she had, all the things that CT had to do to make her feel better. And then right at the most critical moment of the game, this person that CT has put all of his trust in is taking this risk of writing his name down. We saw MJ she said, sorry, it's Sophie's choice. And she wrote Trichelle's name down.
Mm-hmm.
What if MJ had written CT's name down?
Well, here's the other thing to that, though. Even if I'm giving her a little bit of extra credit, saying that she's intelligent enough to know that MJ didn't do that, we don't know the pacing of this chalkboard writing. Trichelle's name is so much longer. There's no way it takes that long to do T. So whenever she was writing, if she was writing any more, then line, it was her name. So who knows when she finished writing? She could have been acting like she was writing the entire time just to kind of throw MJ. She could have been doing anything. Yeah. All she needed to do was just delay long enough to see how long MJ was writing, and she already knew.
Yeah. Which that is something that I thought about. Like, do you think there's a way that they should like try to change how that's done? Like, because when you have names
on the heels of this, absolutely stop letting people come in with only two letters,
right?
Or you should be writing Chris or whatever MJ's name, Monica Jane.
Monica, you just made up a name for her?
Well, Jane is just generic, but Monica is Friends, so like that's always like if I need a generic name, I'm pulling from Friends. So okay. Monica Jane.
Monica Jane it is.
But let it be something longer so that like you can't.
Yeah. You could even, like, they all got that little box, right? That had the red pouch or the green pouch in it. Put people's names in there. And then you can pick out the name that you want to vote out. And then you can show it to people. Something like that. Why are you having people write on chalkboards where two people's names in this ring of truth or whatever, their names are 2 letters. Trichelle's name is like 8
the
letters,
longest name.
Or 9 letters, whatever it is. So it's like, exactly. Of course, it's so obvious. Like,
right. Absolutely. Mercedes Javid. Thank you to Liz for giving us the actual name.
Mercedes.
Not the name that Kyle has dubbed her with.
No.
Monica Jane.
That's the same, right?
Sure. No disrespect intended. I just didn't know her name.
Yeah. I just have to bring up, obviously you guys know I've been standing Kate, but this moment where we literally saw her murder Sheree. They went to a round table. Sandra was voted out, said she was a faithful, and then Kate said, "No more traitors here. Let's end the game." It's like Kate, you murdered someone, and then a faithful went home. There has to be a traitor. There has to be a traitor. Like, what are you doing? Or what
should have at least then just voted to banish again and made a case for somebody else.
Right.
Like, don't say, "Oh, Green, we're good here." Girl, like somebody just died. We ain't good. There's a killer among us.
Right. I didn't even think about because like I had said like a couple of our episodes ago, like I just want a situation where like they get out all the traitors mad early, and now it's just a bunch of faithfuls being like, well, who is it? But the fact that there was a murder does like there wouldn't have been a murder if there was
no discussion to be had. We obviously have to banish again. Like there's no so like if people weren't thinking you, the fact is you were the only
you're either an idiot or it's you.
And I'll take my chances on that. It's you. I'm voting you, and let's see how it shakes out. If not, I just got more money. No negative.
Right.
So
I do.
Stupid. Wow.
Here's what I love about Kate though, is that she's so like just like blunt and upfront and will just speak her mind. But like, so you would expect, or maybe not expect, but you might think that somebody like that, when they get voted out, especially so late in the game, might be like pissed. But I felt like she had a very, very classy exit. Wished everybody luck. Like, and this is someone who has come on the show twice and probably didn't want to play it ever. So,
yeah, her first season, she wanted to be murdered.
She was begging to be sent home.
I'm throwing your money away. Don't you want to murder me? Like, so she went from that to being like just so gracious with her exit. So yeah, definitely some credit for Kate. I totally agree.
I did laugh a lot at her moment in the reunion, though, where she was like, listen, I had just had a baby. I was just grateful to get some sleep in this house. Like, that was fine. I'll stick around. That's great. I'm
Yeah.
having a good time. It's a vacation.
Everybody was like, "Oh, vacation from the baby."
All right, sounds good. Oh gosh.
Yeah, I feel like the only other notable thing that I had, because it made me laugh so hard. I have been very vocal that I did not know until this season of this show that CT was a silly, goofy little man, right? I did not know. When he said, I'm a faithful, and he did that little like dancey dance off to the side. He was just like, "Yeah." And then they found out that he and Trishelle won, and he runs up to Alan, grabs him by the face, and just gives a big smooch right on his face. I was like, I love this man.
He kissed him again too. Actually, I don't know if you saw it. He kissed him like 3 times. I was like, CT is awesome.
Like,
I got a little nervous. There was a point though where they were celebrating, and if you notice that table that had all the big gold coins on it,
yes,
he jumped backwards on it, and if you know him in the challenge,
I was like, you're a muscly man, sir, and you're very tall.
Is this a sturdy table?
and like but like also jumping on all that gold, I got nervous because we know CT well, like he's had back problems. I think that's actually been something that's caused him like trouble on the challenge, that like where he wasn't able to like compete like to his, his highest level. So like I'm sitting there watching him jump backwards, like onto his back, onto this metal, and I'm like, CT, do not hurt your back. Do not hurt your back. You got a challenge to win.
It's scary.
Because he's on 40, right? I think he's.
Is he? I don't remember.
I did see there was a leaked list of people who are flying out to Turkey or somewhere.
I didn't even see where, but
Vietnam, someplace. Two very
yeah, I did enjoy the Alan CT smooches.
A big smooch. Gotta.
Yeah. And Alan has said really nice things about him after the season too. I saw a couple of interviews where he was like, I didn't actually know CT, but I was very endeared towards him. Like I realized,
and you could tell too, like the moment that CT ran up to him, like Alan was cracking up. He was like, you could tell he was like, I love this man.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's cute.
yeah.
It's cute. Oh, so it is Vietnam. It wasn't crazy. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Amaya.
Speaking of the reunion, does anybody like? I don't know. I feel like we had like a little bit of like bitter Bettys and like as to be expected, but like there wasn't really a ton. I feel like in the finale.
No, except that I was a little disappointed in Phaedra. I would have thought that she would have dropped some of this. Like I don't think like I'm not the biggest fan of Dan. And I haven't been really this entire season of the Traitors. Like obviously I liked him on Big Brother, but I always thought he was a little full of himself when he came into the Traitors, but like he was very much admitting, I swung and I missed. Here's the reason why I did this. Like, I don't know why you're still so mad, Phaedra, because it does make sense if you know Dan and how he plays. I absolutely believe that he did think that, hey, if I swing at Phaedra and I get this, Parvati is an easy person and either things to kind of accomplish tomorrow. I don't need to do Parvati today. Like Phaedra is the real problem. I think he misjudged just how insulated she was, but I don't actually think that was a personal thing. So for her to be saying,
look at every
you're trash, and it's like
right. No, I was very much.
That.
You see my name. I was Team Dan in that conversation because, like, you've seen in his Big Brother seasons, like he goes in on everybody. He doesn't give a shit who you are. He will stab anybody in the back to get to the end of this game because that's the game that you signed up to play.
Yeah, you're playing a game. Yeah,
like that is what you signed up for. It's a game called The Traitors. You're going to be a traitor. You're going to turn on people. You're going to stab them in the back. That's what you're there for. At the end of the day, we were all here to play a game. And like, maybe I would feel a little differently if this was a season of like random people and not social media or game people, because you have more to gain from winning that money if you're not somebody that's already a TV personality. Not to say that the people on this season didn't also need the money, but you don't need it in the same way. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like we're all here to play this game. Like it's not a personal
we're all
thing.
On equal footing here.
Right.
Yeah.
And Phaedra,
there can only be so many.
Doesn't need the money. It's you.
Right. right. But it's like also there can only be so many winners. Everybody, even like I think they asked Sandra at the reunion, like, what was your plan with like getting people out? Like, you voted out some faithfuls. Did you like regret your plan? And she was like, faithful or traitor, there were 22 people here and 20 of them had to go. So if I got rid of a couple of faithfuls, oops, they still had to go.
Right. I had to get to the end. It's not about you. I'm playing my own game. Like, did I come here to win or just come here to be part of the experience?
Mm-hmm.
If you came to win, then yes, 20 people got to go.
Yeah.
At least, well, at max.
At least like 18. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah. 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 Phaedra, I was surprised she didn't come in and just say like, all right, I'm over it.
Mm-hmm.
But now I know obviously we talked. I know that we talked about the whole Trishelle and MJ thing at the Ring of Truth, but MJ was another person that was still pretty set. Like, you guys suck. Like, I hate you. Like, what did you think about? Like, were you more okay with her feeling that way than like Phaedra coming in still feeling some type of way about like what Dan did? Because it was funny, like even like John, that was like a big moment from John when MJ was kind of going on about how she wasn't happy about it, and John was very much like, it's a game. Like,
right. And I hear that argument, except for the fact that you made a game decision based on something personal. That's how I feel about Trishelle. I still do extract CT from that because I don't really think that was his motivation. And like, it's one thing if you do something that's like strictly game, like what I feel like Dan did, versus Trishelle just been like, I just don't want to share this money with someone of color. Like, that's how it still came off to me, because that's certainly how I've always known her. So,
well, I mean, I also
I backed it.
I don't really blame her for still being mad at CT either, because it's like there was not. I don't remember any point during this game that MJ's name was brought up as someone suspicious. I don't remember anybody ever accusing her of anything. Maybe like in a moment that like someone was trying to like divert suspicion or whatever, but like, for her to make it to the end when there is absolutely no reason why she potentially even might be a traitor, and all of a sudden now she is the person that they're voting out, even if it was just for a reason of like, I just want to split this money with Trishelle, like I would feel some type of way about that too. Like, what do you mean? I did everything I was supposed to do. I got here to the end. I earned it just like you did. And now you want to get rid of me for no reason just because you don't feel like sharing money with me? I'd be salty about that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that. I think there is also, I think the other way to look at that is, so you're a faithful, right? So that you've just been wrong all along. I could see the paranoia kind of starting to get in your head, be like, is that person just wrong with me? Or have they just been on board with every other wrong decision, because they are also like, there's a world in which like MJ could have been in there. Like, are you just wrong, or are you just also very, very smart for kind of steering us elsewhere? Or are you always making decisions that would now allow me to be steered elsewhere? Like, I certainly think that's a possibility.
Right.
And one that I could see myself coming to in that situation, because I'm such a paranoid person. Like, I could see that. I just don't think that that's what Trishelle did here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just don't like Trishelle.
Yeah. No, that's a fair reason.
You know what I thought was awkward? This isn't anything game related, but
Sure.
I love Andy Cohen. I thought it was really weird though when they opened. Like, there's no crowd here. Like, do we really have to go? We know everybody's names. Do we really have to go like, hi Trishelle, hi John?
I had a moment to like watch that. I was like,
Kevin,
because I didn't watch last year's reunion. I was like, is this just what they do here?
Was there one last year though?
There was, yeah.
Oh, there was. I
didn't watch it, but there was one. But I also like, because it wasn't even like he's just saying hi. Like, he would say hi to somebody and then just give like a personal detail about them. It's like, it felt like we were playing that game of like, okay, everybody go around the room, say your name and a fun fact about you. Like,
oh man. But what do you think of Deontay being there? That's a big brother no. You drop out of the game, you're not coming to finale night, right?
Who cared about Deontay? I forgot he was even in it. I was like, who's this guy? Like also like Marcus and Larsa.
I also laughed
I
because
kind of forgot
Andy.
about all those people.
Well, Andy at the beginning was like, and unfortunately, Max can't be here with us, and I was like, who the fuck is Max? Like, there was a Max.
I couldn't remember who Max was either, to be honest.
Aw, poor
Hold on,
Max.
let me be reminded of him. I want to pull up.
Was he Dancing with the Stars? Is that the thing he's from?
I don't even know. Where is he? Here we go. Matt. Oh, okay. I remember.
It was yeah.
Dancing with the Stars. Yeah.
No, it took me more than a minute to be like, there was a Max on this season.
Oh man. Yeah. I completely forgot about him until he said his name. But I don't know. It was funny to see Deontay. I was glad that we I was glad that we got to hear a little bit more from him about why he left, because I felt like, he was just gone. He was just gone, but so it was good to hear from him. I also was really glad to hear from Peppermint more too, about how important it was for her being on the show, and getting to hear some more of that, because and I was like, I hope Trishelle feels shitty for this, because Trishelle is the reason that Peppermint left when she did so early. So I was really glad to see Peppermint again and get to hear her talk a little bit about
we definitely did get robbed of Peppermint this season, just from an audience standpoint of she's just so much fun, but also knowing the reason why she chose to come on a show like this, or to come on any of these shows, to know that was kind of her motivation, what she wanted to accomplish, and to see her game cut so short so soon was
right.
A huge bummer.
Totally.
Thanks,
that's what I know. I was just saying, freaking Trishelle. Freaking Trishelle.
Disgusting.
Robbing us of more Peppermint.
Yeah. And there was a couple of facial expressions around some of the things that Trishelle had mentioned during the reunion, oh yeah, I made that, I was playing the game very, very hard, and that's when I came at Peppermint. Peppermint was like, yeah, and it's there's something in that face that
because I remember too,
you knew this wasn't game.
As soon as the Peppermint banishment happened, I remember social media going off, being like, this is just what she does.
Yep, this is what she does. And somebody, there's a couple of people that I follow on, obviously we follow a lot of people on Twitter, but somebody had actually called her out for it, and she blocked them. And it was see, there's your proof.
A notable person, or just a Twitter person? Because
no,
I
it's
feel
a Twitter person like you and I.
Because one of the other Drag Race girlies was coming for her too. I can't remember who it was. It might have been Shay.
Oh no. It was Shay Coulee.
I think.
No, it wasn't anybody famous. It was somebody more popular than us on Twitter, but not a Mike Bloom. Not a
right. No, I believe one of the other Drag Race girlies came for her and was like, "This is exactly what she does." I'm not surprised that she did this to our girl.
Yeah.
That's why we always hate her.
Yeah. Liz says Peppermint made an amazing point that most people have never met a drag queen or a trans person, and so most people only get to see that person underneath through TV.
Yep.
So it's true. I really loved what Peppermint said, and I'm glad that she got the chance to come back and say it, even if it was at the reunion and not, talking to people, having conversations in the house. Yeah.
Yep. And mad props to Liz for always proper, appropriate takes.
Yeah.
Even the handful of times that we don't see eye to eye, I always get where she's coming from. So love you, Liz.
Liz is a real one.
We love Liz. Yeah.
Love for Liz.
Aw. Love for Liz Monday.
I love that. Let's make that the new Monday tradition.
No,
as John is looking on the sidebar to ruin my day.
I actually wasn't. I was just reading.
Every time I see your eyes dart to the side, I'm like, God damn it!
I was actually just reading
other Monday trends, but we can't get rid of Mon Juan. Mon Juan's been with us for
Mon Juan Monday.
It's every time there's an opening. Whenever there's an opening for someone saying Monday, or if someone said math too many times and John's eyes dart to the side, I know I'm in big trouble.
Listen, especially if we're showing Liz love, we can't skip her day.
It's true.
Skip her day.
Liz loves Mon Juan.
So ridiculous. trying to think,
I
was there
think
anything
that's
else
it.
from the show or the reunion that was notable? Because I don't think I have
No,
anything.
no, I don't think so. I think that was really that's it for me. I
Yeah, I
will
don't think I
say
have
that I
anything
do
else.
like how John speaks. I mean, yes, Dumpty Chastain, but like John on the show. And I would really very much like to see him on more reality TV.
Put
So
him on everything.
if we ever resurrect American Celebrity Big Brother, put him in the house. Like I want to see more John. And there was
He's
something he
so
even
fun.
said during the reunion that was just so eloquent and so like I just love the way that he speaks. So I just want
Yeah.
more John.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I agree. I forget the exact moment now, but I was watching the reunion last night, and literally stopped because I had to go to the group chat, and I was like, I'm finally watching the reunion, and I need John to be on another
Yeah.
show immediately. Like,
Mhm.
and there's
Absolutely.
so many other people that I love there that I would love to see on other shows, but for some reason, like I'm just dying to get more John
Mhm.
on
Mhm.
something else. So I really hope he does. I
He's
just don't
so
know.
fun.
I wonder what he could do like Celebrity Big Brother or something.
Sure could.
Yeah.
I was disappointed to not see him in the Celebrity Big Brother UK house. I thought that was a very
Yeah.
big possibility, especially since Ekin-Su is in there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
He might be like a kind of a secret cop beast too. He was running better than some
You
of the
never
other people
know.
in the house during these
Mhm.
missions. So
You said asthma who?
I don't know her. I don't know Miss Asma. Liz
I
wants to
did
know who
enjoy
we want
that.
to see in season 3. Oops. Sorry.
I was just gonna say I enjoyed Andy at one point during the reunion asking John if he brought his inhaler.
Yes.
That was cute. That was cute.
But season 3,
Who we want for
Season
season
three.
3?
man, I don't really know for sure, but I can tell you, I kind of it's interesting. We've had 2 seasons, and first season a Survivor player won, second season a challenge person won. I kind of want to see some of these non-competition people outplay the gamers. And see someone else win, you know?
Mm.
Mhm.
Like I wonder if this is going to become a thing. I know we've always had people at the end, that were not on Survivor or the Challenge or Big Brother or like competition shows, but like it's always the gamers like coming out on top at the end. And I feel like I want to see. I hope that doesn't become a trend. I want like a good mix of winners every season from different places.
I want to see one of our pod friends be on it. Like, could you imagine like
Yeah.
Jacob Hacker playing the Traitors? Like I want like one of our friends.
That would be a lot of fun. Yeah.
I think it would be a lot of fun to see Jacob, and like Jacob knows I love him very much, but like I do feel like he'd be a fish out of water.
Oh, he'd be eaten alive with love and
How do you
respect.
How do you think Lewis and Michelle would do?
Well, we saw
Either
how
either
a
one of
couple
them
did
well,
this year.
together or separate though. If one of them played next season or something.
Oh gosh. And again, Lewis, you know how much I love you, but I definitely think that Michelle is a little bit I think she's built for that world a little bit better. I feel like Lewis would give us like amazing TV, but I think that Michelle would be better at the game.
See, my problem with Lewis and Michelle is I think they're too nice to be sneaky. Like I feel like they wouldn't be like they
I'm
couldn't
not
be
sure.
traitors.
I think Michelle is like I think she'd actually be very good. No, I have full faith in Michelle, actually. I want to see, and again, this is not a personal endorsement. I don't always enjoy him on the challenge. I find him to be very pig-headed and
Oh, I think I
annoying.
know. I think I know what you're gonna say.
But I would not mind seeing Wes.
Yeah.
I think
Wow.
that Wes is very smart and intelligent, and in a non-offensive way, like with Trishelle. So I think he'd be really fun to see on here. Is there anyone from Big Brother that we would want to see? Either strategically or entertainment-wise.
The problem is I know like an hour from now I'm gonna have a solid list, but because I'm being asked on the spot, I can't think of anybody
Right.
I've ever watched on a
Right.
show ever in my life.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I
yeah.
get that. I get that. Yeah, I'd love to see Wes. As far as like anyone from the Mole, I actually think Joy would be fun to watch.
Mm.
because she makes a lot of decisions that serve her, but she's also, I do think she's smart at the same time. That's why she got as far as she did. I think Joy would be fun to watch. And she's also a pod friend, so that kind of satisfies both buckets there.
Yes.
It's true. It's true.
Um,
You know who I thought you were going to say? The first name I thought you were going to say, Kyle, was that you wanted to see Tori Deal on the Traitors.
No, you didn't.
No.
No, you didn't, because you knew I don't even want to see her on the challenge. I certainly don't want to see her infiltrating something else.
I'm busy that season. Sorry.
Exactly. Sorry. I'm busy sitting over there. Doing what? Absolutely nothing. Like, no way I'd skip the whole damn thing.
Oh, yeah. I think we're all on the same page there. I have no
Yeah,
interest
no.
in seeing Tori.
Like Blue says,
my
tomato,
God.
tomato, tomato, tomato.
Tomato.
Exactly. Absolutely not. No way.
Oh, man.
No way.
I'm having trouble like coming up with names right now. I mean, I'm sure there's a few people from the last few casts of Big Brother, like 23, 24, 25 that like
we're on the
I'd be down to
spot.
see. I saw Taylor Hale was doing like a stream with Sharon Tharp and was saying, I'm never gonna get on the Traitors now, because she was literally like listing every single thing that she would do, like exactly how she would play the game.
That could also be why she gets on. And like, it's funny you mentioned that, because I would also lobby for Sharon Tharp to be on a show like this.
How fun.
Yeah.
Like,
How
can you
fun.
imagine like Sharon abseiling down the side of a cliff? Like,
Oh,
I mean, the
my
best
God.
TV ever. And she's no dummy. You know what I mean? Like, she is so into, like, I wanted one of those pod people to be on a show like this. Like, let's see a Mike Bloom. Let's see Rob from the podcast that he has.
Rob came from being a 2-time Survivor player. I would just like to make that clear.
No, right. No, right. I get that half of it, but I'm saying, like, I think these would be interesting people because, like, they're so in tune to the community. Like, they're smart and, like, they know.
Honestly, I feel like because Rob has played Survivor twice, they absolutely could.
Right.
Yeah. That would be fun. That like these big podcasts that are,
right,
bigger than us.
To everyone. Yes, they talk to everyone, so like they
exactly.
have a good knowledge of how these games work, and they're so always interesting to watch.
There's always the speculation at the start of a new Big Brother season every year. Like if like Amon hasn't tweeted for a couple of days, they're like, he's in sequester, he's in the house. Oh no, Taryn's in the house, and Taryn's always like, I'm right here. Like I'm not playing.
It would be fun though, like because I feel like with the podcast hosts, even if they've been on a show in the past, like it's still fun like to see them because like you feel like you know them in a different way. Like you watch them every day or every week or whatever, listen to them. Like you almost feel like you have a little bit more of like a personal relationship with them because maybe you're interacting with them on social media and stuff. And like so to see people that are hosting podcasts in like one of these games would be really fun.
That would be really cool. I would really like that.
Liz wants to see Felicia, huh?
Felicia would be funny. I don't think she would know exactly what was going on.
So, no.
This person's a traitor. Oh, I was wrong. Oh, this person's faithful. What? Like, I feel like she'd just be entertaining for that.
She would have been one of those people that gets to the end by accident.
Right.
Despite the fact that she has no idea what game she's playing, she's here.
Right. She's here. She is playing. She doesn't know what's happening, but she's here.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, she would be fun. She would be a lot of fun.
She's another one. I'll watch her on anything.
I don't know.
I honestly, I got two more thoughts for this reunion.
Hell yeah!
And then
bring
them
on.
The first one is, so we were just talking about who we would love to see on a season of the Traitors, and my answer for that would be also that I'd like to see people like us, regular people. Like, I liked that the first season was half regular people, half reality celebs. Like, I understand if you don't want to mix them, but like, because I want to play the Traitors so bad. But like,
I'm down for like 2 seasons a year. You know, like a reality people and a nobody.
Right.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah,
exactly what I was thinking. Like, you might not want to mix them, but like people want to, like regular people want to play this game. So like at least give them an opportunity in a separate season. Like that would be awesome.
Right. What else is Alan doing? This is his show now. Like it's not like I don't see him in anything else. Like, and I'm not saying that in a bad way, but like there's no reason why this man can't work 2 months out of the year.
Right.
And we get more fashion. Like I see no negatives. Yeah. I see no negatives.
The other thing that I had about this that I was thinking about was I think it's really fun now. I know that Bananas still has more championships, challenge championships, but I think it's really fun that CT now has the bragging rights of being like a multi-challenge champion and a champion of the Traitors and has those bragging rights over Bananas.
And on the same season that you were on.
Right. Like
I
you
won the season you
literally
were first boot on.
First
right.
boot. First boot.
Right. That's
Yeah.
I love that. Like it would be fun, like even if CT had just won and there was no one else from the challenge on, but the fact that him and Bananas came in together and Bananas walked out first and CT won, it's just very, very fun to me. So
I love that too.
that was it. I think that's all the thoughts I had about this.
Yeah, no, I had a good time this season. I had a good time. Except, all right, the one last comment here is that, like, Trishelle has been saying, she says, I saw something on Twitter. She was like, oh, Phaedra is the most classy whatever traitor we've ever seen. I watched all the international versions. It's like, this is so performative. It's like nauseating. It's like, because if you actually did watch all the international versions, and no shade to Phaedra, but like there is a season in which an original traitor got to the end and won. How could you actually say that Phaedra was the best traitor in all the versions? Like, she was a good one, but she didn't win. So she ain't the best, even if you don't like that other person. And I won't use the pronouns. I don't want to spoil things for people. But it's like, if somebody was chosen day one and they make it to the end and take it all alone, not splitting like with another traitor.
Yeah.
So that's all.
I hear that.
Well, since it appears we are wrapping up, we are not done tonight. We will be back at 9 p.m. for our Survivor coverage, which I watched this episode last night, and it's also a doozy, so can't wait for that conversation.
I don't know why you thought it was a doozy. I hated
Really? I thought they were so messy.
I hated this episode. You know what? I was like, I don't want to be one of those people that says Australian is so much better, but it is.
Oh, it is. It is.
Yeah.
This is just garbage to me. Like, I had to force. If it wasn't for the podcast, I would have already given up on this season.
No, I'm not saying like it was a great episode. I'm saying they were messy. Messy.
Right.
Yeah, and like in all the
so
like least fun
chaotic
ways for me. Yeah, this is like ugh.
But don't worry, because we are also talking about the superior Survivor. We'll be doing that at 10:15 on Thursday. But before that, at 8:00 on Thursday, we are covering This Week in Big Brother Canada, which I have not caught up on.
Me either.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, if you forget anything I just said, you can find all of the information on our socials at Strat Chat Pod, everywhere everywhere on all social media platforms.
Everywhere you want to be,
including.
And we can say including Blue Sky. I mean,
including Blue Sky.
Every time I accidentally open the app, I'm like, I don't want to look at this right now. It's like, well, we have to come back. We have to come back. The skies are clue in blue.
But if you aren't available to watch us live, you can also find us later, audio only, anywhere that you get your podcast. Leave us a nice review because we are very nice people. And I think that's everything. I think I hit it all, right?
It is. Yeah, you get it all.
Yeah. Okay, good for me. Okay. Thank you for hanging out with us this season. We are all done with one, and we will be back in about an hour. Goodbye, friends.